This is the Columbia logo, and my name is John Carpenter. We're going to watch Starman, and sitting next to me today is Jeff Bridges,
Hi there.
star of Starman, and off we go. This is a movie that I directed and Jeff starred in, made in 1984, and this is the opening sequence in outer space. There's your name, my friend.
It's always nice to see.
We had Karen Allen, Charlie Martin Smith, a great cast, and one of my own favorite movies that I've made.
One of mine, I gotta say that. It's gonna be wonderful to see this with you again, John, here today. I'm looking forward to this.
It's been a while since...
Ooh, and Jack Nietzsche, huh?
That's right.
Oh, man. He's one of my favorites.
He's one of the most inventive composers that I know of, and he did a great score for us. Very, very romantic score.
He also did a score for Cutter's Way.
He did? I didn't.
Yeah, all on wine glasses.
That was a terrific movie, by the way.
Thank you. Larry Franco, yes. Remember all these guys?
And this opening sequence kind of establishes that the message was sent out into space and establishes the plot. We used ILM for our special effects. And you were mentioning earlier, and I think it's true, we kind of decided that the effects weren't going to rule this movie as much as the humanity and the acting and the characters.
They're very simple, but very elegant. I remember especially that shot that we just saw, and the end shot, that big sphere, that was so beautiful.
Because a lot of movies in those days were basically gearing towards the hardware, and this was a different kind of film. It certainly was a different kind of film for me. This was my first out-and-out kind of romantic comedy, even though it was a science fiction movie.
Hello from the children of planet Earth.
You know something I remember as I'm seeing this? That song that we heard.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction, but that's not the actual song, because there is a song out there, and it was...
No, it's
Chuck
not the
Berry.
actual song.
No,
What is it?
there is an actual song.
Well, what is it?
I think it is. It's a Chuck Berry tune.
Oh, wait a minute now. Which one is
That's
it?
gonna kill us. But you're right. You know what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
I do.
Right? Yeah, it's another tune. We'll maybe come up with that as you listen. We'll remember.
This is the first material that we shot in the film. We were on a soundstage at now the Warner Studios. It was called TBS then, and inside of a set.
It's one of the rare times that a director has allowed me to play music and sing in a film. This is very gratifying. Thank you for that, John. We also later, I wonder if it's going to be in here, Karen and I went into a studio and recorded this tune as a little MTV thing.
You had a music video on it, as I recall.
That's
the
right.
Two of you.
Yeah, she sings great, plays a wonderful harp, too.
The two of you harmonize so well together.
I loved working with her. She was real.
Now, you guys were terrific. We spent about 2.5 weeks rehearsing in the beginning, doing all sorts of reading the lines, going through the scenes, and improvising, trying to establish characters. In this sequence, you're playing the earthly husband who is now departed, correct?
Yeah, right.
And then what you also play is an alien come back clone in his body. And one of the questions I want to ask you is how you came up with this whole interpretation of this role.
Well, you know, I remember, I guess getting the coming and reading for you the first time when I got the audition, and I came in there and I thought about it a little bit, and the thing that clicked for me, I think it got me the gig actually. That the idea of it was a person who was impersonating, and I remember telling you this during the audition. It was a person impersonating a human being, so he would see somebody crossing their legs like we are right now, and he would cross the legs, but it wouldn't be for the same reason that we cross our legs. We cross our legs, I don't know why, there's something relaxing kind of feeling to it, but he would simply cross his leg and just hold it there, and kind of like just to give the appearance of humanity.
Trying to imitate
gestures. And he would get things just a little bit wrong. There would be, and so that was like just off the top. And then I do what I usually do is look through my phone book to look at different friends that might in this case, be aliens. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if I found out there were aliens. And one guy was on my list, a fellow named Russell Clark, who was a dancer, a wild-looking guy. And I thought, oh, I'll get Russell Clark, and we'll get a studio, and we'll get some video cameras, and we'll work together and work on just. Do you remember this?
Very well.
And I thought, and I would show these to John and say, you know, do you like this? Do you like going in this direction or this direction? What are you thinking of doing? And we worked very hard on the opening, the first time the Starman is, you know, comes to life, and. I remember I used to go home and tape myself like this at home too, in my studio. And I remember one day doing a rather intense session, and I was nude with my camera pointed at me, and I hear the door open, and my wife sticks her head in and has this strange expression on her face and slowly closes the door. I don't know why that image comes to my mind right now, but it was working with videotape and practicing movements like that, and the idea of almost a little guy sitting in somewhere around my third eye area there, almost going on a human ride trip, as if it was an e-ticket at Disneyland. You know, be a human and, you know, see what that's like.
We're watching the meteor explode into the mountain. This took us two tries to blow up this mountain. We were in Tennessee, and they gave us permission to basically blow up a little forest. And the first time we did it, it was too wet. I remember you walking around the set, and you had your script in a book, and on the front of this book was picture of
an eagle.
Eagle.
Right. That was a word. Yeah. That. What's that word? I'll see if I can think of it. It was a word that means implacable. That was my word, and that's what Starman was. It was, and that's what that eagle reminded me of.
I asked you about it, and you said, "Well, this is when I'm playing a part, this character."
Yeah.
And you said the word I didn't remember, implacable.
Yeah.
Point of view is moving. Basically, that was a helicopter with a big light underneath it. You're about to be born soon, and this was the scene you were talking about. And we had 3 special effects technicians, actually artists of masters. Dick Smith, Rick Baker, and Stan Winston participated in your transformation.
Isn't that something? Yeah. For about each one had about 7 seconds of film, I think, or something, for that, you know, for this short little sequence here.
But again, using the use of effects, all of this stuff that you're seeing now is simply to get us into the story.
This shot, tell me about this. How did you do this?
This was an ILM shot that that was done
seamless,
on our set. It was difficult to do. There's a little dissolve going under the door there. We shot it basically in 2 parts, and ILM put it together, and then the period of when you're going under the door is something that they animated basically. Blue light moving around. But pretty soon here you're going to be watching a little of the home movies, and we begin to understand that you're this kind of strange invisible alien, and you're about to clone yourself. Here we go. We're going to go into the hair soon here.
My mother gave all these pictures, and she swore, she says, there's a curse on anyone who doesn't return these photos to her. Thank God she got them all back, because she is a witch.
What a little cowboy outfit you're in.
That's right, yeah, look at that.
And then we're going to go into the powers of 10 shot. This is a ILM shot. Every flash is a seam. We're going on to the next shot, basically. Just some transition to get all the way in. It's nice stuff. They did a good job. Now, the moment is coming, and pretty soon you're going to be appearing here as Starman. I remember this was fun to shoot, this particular sequence, but it was also difficult. We were in a small house, and there were a lot of cuts, and had to be designed so that it told the story and moved effortlessly. I'm kind of proud of this sequence. There's a couple of them in here. Another one comes later when you're in the car with Karen and the lights hitting the two of you. It's pretty. Now here comes the transformation. The first, as I remember this, that's Rick Baker. And that's on a raised platform. He's got technicians underneath operating the rubber baby, who actually had a rather large penis we had to avoid. And here is Stan Winston's part of the stretcho. Real kid. And then he's going to turn around. And pretty soon we're going to get into Dick Smith. Dick took a cast of you, as I recall. Did he not?
Yeah.
Then he animated it basically sculpted several figures of you from your face down and then shot it in reverse.
Karen is so, part of the tough thing is to give this illusion that, look at that, isn't that wild? That you're this alien being from another planet. And, really it takes two to tango. If she didn't have that certain, that feeling that I just saw her in her face there about this, what she was beholding was some kind of mysterious thing, my side wouldn't have pulled off at all. You got to have the other person on the other side reacting to make it to make the illusion complete.
A little naked shot of you there.
Yes.
No, Karen is a brilliant actress. I just love her in this role. And you're right, it takes two to tango.
Scott.
That's a great moment.
It is.
And the
It
two of
makes
you
me
are really
laugh.
good.
Oh, yeah. This whole thing, I don't know why it makes me laugh.
Yeah, why are you laughing?
Because there's something fun about it that strikes me so funny about just the whole premise, If this happened to you, it would just be, insane.
We had a big discussion about your hair, as you recall. You may not
yeah.
remember that.
Tell me about it. What?
Well, you were wondering whether we ought to have the comb back 80s look.
Oh, or
like
this.
you did,
This is better.
like you did in Against All Odds. And then
You said Beatle. You said more Beatle-esque, no?
Did I say the
I
one
think,
that
I think
was
you said. I think you said. I don't know, that's what.
I'm not
that's
sure
what
if you
popped
like
into
that
my
or-
mind. I'm liking. I'm glad if you voted for this way. I think this is the way it should have been.
You were more of a hunk, though, with the 80s hair,
Wow.
the big 80s hair. But I guess just I'm an old hippie from the old days. That's probably why it.
Yeah, this is good. This is more natural.
47 member states who represent almost all of
Did you listen to?
Kurt Waldheim.
Did you listen
Yes,
to him a lot?
Absolutely.
I send greetings.
Then you had to learn a little. Was it a little Russian in there?
A little Russian. Whatever was on that thing, we're going to still hopefully come up with the rock and roll tune that's floating out there in space on this.
Johnny Be
disc.
Good, was it?
Yes, there you go. Thank you. That's what it is.
Was
I
that
think.
it?
I think it is. It's Johnny Be Good. It's not Chuck Berry. Yes, that's Chuck Berry, yeah.
But we put the Stones in for some reason.
Yeah.
Because it was in the script, I guess. The credited authors on this were the Evans and Bruce Evans. I can't remember the other guy's name now. Had written the original version of this movie, but the version that we shot was written by a man named Dean Reisner. He's an old-time writer. He used to work at Warner Brothers. Actually wrote a Ronald Reagan movie, some Death Ray Ronald Reagan movie. Was very proud of that as his first film. I guess he was one of those guys that Jack Warner was calling schmucks with Underwoods. He started back in the old days. He was a terrific guy and really wrote a great love story. He said he wrote it as a woman's picture, but you stole it. And that was his line to me.
What happened? Why didn't he get credit?
The Writers Guild had an arbitration, and they tend to always honor the original writers. So he had rewritten.
Oh, I see.
You see, but they had given the credit to, that was their first script, so he did not get credit. I put a thank you to him in the end, but we got fined because I did that.
But he did he did the rewrite.
That's right.
And yeah.
That's right. Basically, it's his, in my opinion, it's his project. It's his script. I can't remember, were you really doing that?
Of course, John. No.
Yeah, I think it was a trick, wasn't
I
it?
think it was some sort of movie.
Pretty good there, though,
Hey,
huh?
That was a little ILM there. No, that was all.
That was all you.
Starman.
You look a little buffed out in this,
man,
Jeff. What do you
huh?
think? Buffed
God.
out.
Those were the days.
Kind of a Adonis type.
There you go.
I can't even remember that we worked with this.
This is
animal.
wonderful. You know, there's a thing about looking at movies. I don't know if you have this too, but there's a home movie thing. When I watch this, it's like watching home movies in a way. You know, I mean, remember, it brings back all these memories, not of the story, but also, everything else. You know, what the set was like. You know, and that little picnic that we went out to shoot that. You know, that one day we went out to do with a raccoon.
Out
and
of
the
Franklin
singing,
Canyon.
all those things. I can remember. It brings back all kinds of memories. Remember, we had a hell of a time doing that shot.
That
didn't
simple,
we? Yeah,
very
what was
simple
it?
trick.
Yeah,
It was a reverse angle, so you let them go and fall, but we
Yeah,
wanted to make it not look.
yeah. That's blue screen, isn't
That's
it?
correct. You were walking around quite a while here naked, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you loved it. I actually think you enjoyed walking
do
around the
that.
set naked.
That's right.
Well, everybody looking at you.
Yeah.
As I recall, we do some kind of a weird effect. We hung you
Yes,
upside
that's
down,
right, that's right.
and then
Get the
turned
static
you right side
electricity,
up.
yeah.
Exactly. Got the gravity working on your face. It looks very strange. I don't know if any of the viewers will recognize what we did.
You know, I
but-
scored those balls. I have those balls.
Do you
somewhere.
really?
Yes. The glowing. I remember this trick.
There was a I think a
little
light in there,
yeah.
wasn't there?
Yeah.
Big old close-ups with blue light on you there. This is kind of a sex type thing here. I can't believe we did all this stuff. You're like a sex god.
Oh boy, what a weird dream.
Karen is so terrific. I wish she was here with us.
Yeah. Where is she? Where is she?
I think she's working.
Oh, that's good. Look, talk about sex shots. Look at this.
Well, I
Ken.
know. She didn't want to do this either.
Yeah.
She didn't. I said, come on, I just want to show your butt. That's
Yeah.
all. Please. Here we come with the upside down
Yeah, there you go.
back angle, but we have a nice front angle of you here.
Mm-hmm.
We have your hair. You are. Hair is hanging up. Gravity on your face. You look very
That's right,
strange.
Yeah.
I don't know why we did that, but it does look odd. Don Morgan did a good job.
He really did. I'm really, yeah.
As a
I'm
director of
looking at
photography.
that.
It's very pretty.
Beautiful looking.
We cut to Tennessee. We're in a fabulous place called Tiftonia.
Oh yeah. God, we went all across the country for
That's
this movie.
right.
It was a road movie in a way.
It was a
wasn't
road movie for the crew and cast. Boy,
Yeah.
we were on the road.
I dug Arizona the most.
No, wasn't that fun?
Great?
Oh,
Oh man.
That crater was my favorite.
that
I
was
love
really
that place.
Something.
Although the accommodations in Arizona were that little flea bag
that was
motel.
funky. You know what was kind of wild about Tennessee was Chattanooga. And do you remember Rock City? Did you
Yes.
go to Rock City?
Yes.
You could see 7 states
That's right.
from that place.
That's right.
Hmm.
I remember the night we all went out to a disco.
Yeah.
Took you out finally, and we all went out dancing. It was like we'd been cooped up for too long.
What do you want?
Oh,
I always wonder what the studio thought when they saw these dailies coming back, because some of this we shot out of sequence, and of any actor that I've ever worked with, I've never seen anybody, and I don't mean to just say because you're sitting here, who has ever planned out his performance and actually planned out when he was going to be ahead and behind, how you had grown, because we shot the beginning, then we shot the end, then we shot the middle, and you had figured it all out ahead of time.
This was I do that for all movies. Make a little 2 sheets of paper so I can open them, and the whole movie is there, just so I can see it in one viewing. But this particular part was very important that way, because there was a real obvious growth of the character in physical, other ways too, but mostly the physical thing.
It made it really easy for me. because you had it all figured out like that. I just wondered if the
thank
studio realized what we were doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never heard from them. They never said anything bad. I often wondered if some of this, some of your performance, they might say, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, he's not very natural. actually.
He seems a little stiff, doesn't he?
Texas, it must be like
This is wild. Now,
Arizona, maybe?
the thing on the right is effect, but you must have
Correct.
had the lights on my face are real. Is that
That's correct on both of
so
you.
that's pretty wild.
And
And
then
it,
faded
and it
off.
worked well. I mean, yeah.
We have a little density problem in that scene because the interior is so low. That's something that you would fix today with green screen and some of the more advanced techniques. But as I recall, this is Tiftonia 2. There's the Sikorsky helicopter, which I...
Now, you know, something else I just remember when we were going across that bridge, a photograph that I took on this during this film, and I ended up, it was the beginning of my taking these books for the cast and crew for movies up till now, actually. And it was actually Karen Allen's idea. She said, why don't we take these photographs that you're doing with your wide lux camera and we'll put them together as a gift for the cast and crew. And Charlie Martin Smith and Karen Allen and myself put this book together. We also used Sid Baldwin's, who was the still guy on there, some of his photographs in this book.
Do you remember the title of this book?
It came from Hollywood.
They came from
Hollywood. Yeah. Now, see, if you had room on this thing, we'd put some of those photos in there.
There you go. They were great, too. I tell you, one other thing was I heard the word wide lux so many times from you on the set. Oh, look at my wide lux. I'm taking a shot in wide lux. I thought, what is he talking? What is going on here?
Oh, this is now. I get of all the films I've done, this is the scene I get most comments on.
Which one's this now?
This one we're just seeing. Oh, that set it up actually. The yellow light, green light. You know.
I know.
You know that's
That's
get
the big
that.
joke,
Yeah,
yeah.
They say that all the time to me.
Is it clean? Well, no radioactivity, no readings on bacteria. You attached to national security?
Charlie's a wonderful actor.
He sure is.
I love that Never Cry Wolf movie.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that guy's a hell of a filmmaker, don't you think?
I do.
With,
I really do. And I think that was a hell of an effort to shoot that.
God. And the way to do it, I mean, that takes some art balls, man, to go up there and say, we're just going to shoot a movie about wolves and be up there for a year and see what happens. And you look at the stuff that the guy comes out with. I bet he had a hell of a time funding it, or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know the story.
It looked pretty expensive, though, I would think. It's like My Dinner with Andre. Can you imagine trying to get that movie made?
In the snow.
Yeah.
In the snow.
There you go.
Nobody authorized that. The damn thing sounded hollow to me. Hollow? There's no such thing as a hollow.
And Charlie had most of the scientific and backstory exposition in this.
You were about to say?
Up and Adam, folks. This is station WDLU at Madison, Wisconsin, bringing you the 6 a.m. news. No, folks, all of you that saw that flash in the sky last night, it wasn't the end of the world, and it wasn't a burning airliner. No, sir.
Now, what do you think, John? Do you think have we been visited by aliens? now that the tape is rolling, let's get your
My opinion? No.
yes. No, you don't think it's happening? Wishful thinking.
No. I think it's something that you want to believe when you're really young because it sounds so great.
So if I told you that I really am Starman, you would
I would
poo-poo me.
disbelieve you somehow. Disbelieve you slightly.
What do you want here?
I think we're coming up to the,
What do you want with me? Where are you taking me?
as I remember,
Why do you look so much
satisfaction and,
I can't get no
there you go.
satisfaction.
Does it?
A little stunt coming up.
Oh,
And as I
yeah.
remember-
something happened here.
Yeah, as I remember, when you get out of the car, you were dragging Karen by one arm.
Yeah.
She didn't like it much.
She didn't like that?
She didn't like
oh,
that.
Yeah, yeah, vicious grab.
She-
Something happened. I remember something. In,
We got a car stuck in the mud. We had a lot of trouble
yeah,
with this scene.
This day or something. Right? It was a tough day.
She was not happy about your grip upon her.
I was stopping her, John.
She was trying to run from you. We were on a lonely Tennessee road, and it took. I think we were over time because of the weather.
Yeah.
and we got a car stuck. It was not
It seemed-
the most fun.
It seemed to me one of those days where everything was going great up until that, and we finally said, "Isn't it great how smoothly this is going?"
And then
we knew
it
as soon as you
falls
say
to
it,
shit.
boom,
Completely
yeah,
falls apart.
exactly, Yeah.
How'd you do that?
I also want to give credit to Marion Rothman, who was my editor. We really worked over this movie because the first time we watched it, it was all a little too smooth. Mm-hmm. It flowed a little too smoothly. We need to bump it a little bit, come in the middle of some scenes, and not make it so linear. And that was the one comment that Michael Douglas had when he watched it. He said, "Try to speed up some places and slow down others." And a little bit later on in the movie, we'll discuss the scene that you and I had a discussion about at the time, leaving a little more of Starman in. And I think I took it out, but we'll get to that later.
Communications Central, this is Project Visitor, a Shemagwin sighting.
Oh, I remember
have
that
Mr.
guy.
Sherman for you. The director's on the line. All right, Sherman, what is it?
Richard J.
Richard Jekyll, now deceased, not among us anymore.
Shemagwin sighting appears to be hollow?
No, not appears to be. It is hollow.
He was very good, man.
Just gone up.
What was that great movie that he was in with Paul Newman, where he's under that log? Wasn't that a wonderful scene?
Sometimes a great
Oh,
notion.
man, do you remember that scene?
The Rita Hayworth.
Do you remember that scene I'm
I-
talking
I'll
about?
never
where
forget
the
it.
river's coming up. Oh God,
And
they're
he's-
joking and they're laughing and stuff, and then they say, "Hey, we're not gonna." Oh, and he goes down there to give it him. Oh, wonderful scene.
And he thinks he starts laughing at something about Rita Hayworth giving, "You're
Yeah.
kissing me like Rita
Yeah,
Hayworth." Then
yeah.
he loses his
Oh,
breath.
God. Oh man,
That was Henry Fonda was in that, and that was a great movie.
was it Henry?
Henry
was it-
Fonda was in it. Paul
but
Newman
Paul
directed.
Yeah, and did that scene. That's what. Yeah, is that with Henry
I
Fonda?
believe
Yeah.
so. It was great. I remember we had
Do you understand?
a special rig for you two for all the driving stuff. We had the car mounted on a flatbed truck,
Oh, yeah.
so we could put lights around it.
English language, little bit.
And off we would go down the highway. They weren't. It's never pleasant to do driving scenes.
It's always
I don't
tough, man.
know how
They
you feel
always
about
look,
it.
Well, they look. I've got some good stories about them, but I don't know if now's the time to, But they always look. You get them on a flatbed. Was this a flatbed or is this being towed here? If they're on a flatbed, you get a little. You can move the camera and stuff, but it looks a little phony because you're up. You know.
This is a flatbed.
Poor man's process can work well at night if you have a long lens. Hal Ashby used to do that a lot.
I
and,
love Poor Man's Process. It's much easier
Yeah.
to get the shots that you want,
Yeah.
especially at night.
And if you get that long lens, you can really fool the audience well.
But getting in and out of the car, we spent a lot of time moving you guys in and out, which it's hot.
it's
and then you've got to
terrible.
perform.
Yeah, and pretend like you're driving, and also, you keep saying, "Where is the camera here?" It looks, the illusion is busted because you're in machinery or something.
Right.
There's something about it just feels
Right.
off. And
It's
keeping the
always a
wind and-
problem to direct because what are you going to do?
I would think that somebody could make a lot of money if they handle that problem and maybe made a whole sound stage or a way of dealing with that. And made it because it's all you say is you always got to add more days to the schedule to do it, and
You notice how they do it in the old movies. I was watching
Yeah.
The Big Sleep the other night. So they have this process screens, the same kind of angles that we do now.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what can we do different? Two people are sitting
Yeah.
next to each other, driving.
yeah.
There's the famous pod scene. We had this in an actual hangar in Tennessee.
About those police calls, you did say anything weird, right?
Yeah, you got something?
And it was a hard one to light. I don't think you were there. No, you weren't there. You were on your day off.
I like this scene where he goes in for the first time.
The directors don't have a day off
That's
like some
right,
of the
man.
actors.
Oh God, huh?
You guys get to kick back,
man. Now,
relax.
yeah. How, do you do anything to physically keep in shape, or do you?
No.
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 Do you sleep?
Try to.
What's your sleep situation?
As much as humanly possible. That's where you get in trouble, especially as the years move on and you become an older middle-aged director. moving towards old, it gets tougher and
The
tougher.
habit, and I find after a very exciting day's work, you kind of up and to come down without celebrating and drinking or
Absolutely.
doing that is a hard thing to do.
It's the toughest. The toughest, either when it's a great day or an awful day,
Yeah.
where you've had a problem.
Look at the design. I love that. It's like an ear or something. It's like a shell.
We had basically one angle inside of here, looking straight up at it. Had to arrange the cast outside to be able to see them.
4 different languages, complete with a nice little speech from Kurt Waldheim, to whom it may concern. Come and see us.
By the way, on the soundtrack, I don't know if I ever told you that that's Buffy St. Marie's voice.
We're coming to a gas
What?
On
Doing the tone?
every one of them. The tone, that's her. He basically put her into a
That's his
synclavier
wife. Yeah.
and played her. So she's,
Isn't that he was?
Yeah.
That score, the melody that he came up with is so beautiful, isn't it?
it's beautiful, it's simple.
Yeah.
No, I do not understand.
We are in an overcast day because you can see the lights on
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys
see, yeah.
banging into you.
That's right.
And this is why I hate
Yeah.
shooting in cars.
Gets to E, that's empty, no gas, the car stops, period.
Now, what's the sound? Is that looped or is that?
No,
No, it was good.
it's all real. Mics everywhere.
Who was the sound guy?
Tommy Causey.
Oh God, I work with Tommy a lot. He's the best, man. He's very good. You like him? If you
Oh,
worked
I
with him
love him
before?
over and over and over again.
Yeah, he's great.
This is a little gas station between Nashville and Tiftonia, kind of halfway there.
Here you go.
Take it easy.
Yeah. Take it easy. Hi.
Hi, fill her up, unleaded.
Gas.
Gotcha.
So now that you've given away how you came up with your performance, everybody can see what you're doing out there.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's right. It's
every
all out.
scene.
Cat's out of the bag.
The little third eye guy riding in
There you
the
go.
head.
It's pretty right.
I have to go
He
to the
slowly
bathroom.
gets to the program.
He gets better at it, doesn't
Humanity starts to seep in.
It's when a person has to...
That's why I got to tell you my this idea that we're throwing around for 2 and see what you think.
he? Oh yeah, tell me about that. You and Karen were just talking.
jamming
once.
a little bit. She had some. I had some ideas. And we kind of put them together one night, and just kind of some interesting things.
Wait, you guys in a geriatric home now? How do
No,
you-
it picks up right where this one leaves off.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you now, or I'll tell you later?
Tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell you later. But it's pretty interesting.
We spent some time on this bathroom, lighting this bathroom. This
I've
was
got some good stills of this shot too. Oh, is this the one with Mickey in it?
yes,
Yeah, I've worked with him a lot too. He's a great drummer. You know who he is, don't you?
of course.
He used to be, the guy we're about to see used to be Dylan's drummer. He played on Highway 61.
Men, you. Understand?
Because of the difference in light, when
Oh,
we
we had
shot,
a big silk over this thing, didn't we?
oh, we had this thing hanging over the door whenever we were inside. It's
God.
nightmare.
Isn't it amazing? Here he is.
Can't get her out, huh?
Gas.
Well, I know just how she feels.
It's a pretty funny movie, man.
Uh-huh.
It makes me laugh.
Oh, there's the scene I'm talking about where the
Well,
outside
yeah.
is blasting.
Yeah. And you were poked in it. Was this a set or this is the actual practical location?
we
were you in a hole?
We had a
somewhere?
hole. We had a little set built, and we had to break it open to shoot this way.
Take it easy.
Up yours.
You know, the interesting thing to me now watching it as a director is how simply shot it is. A lot of it.
Yeah.
I like let it play in like a wide shot like this. I don't
Yeah.
cut in necessarily.
I love that.
Just
And-
let you go ahead and play the
yeah.
scene.
Don't you find that cuts are like big blinks? You know, they like take the viewer away. You know,
They do, and
and yet, as I would imagine, if you don't have those cuts, then you're stuck when you're editing, and you can't. You got to either take the whole thing out, or it's tough that way.
like this shot, if we play it all in one. She sees the kidnap. She goes outside. You come back in
Yeah, telling the whole story. Like
right in
that.
one shot. Now, if you have to get a perfect take, is the thing,
Right.
and then you're committed to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to commit right on the set. Well, this is the way it's going to be in the film.
Yeah.
because and then you have to be willing to commit to the tempo. See, cuts give you tempo.
That's right.
They speed it up and slow down.
And
so.
do you believe in kind of covering yourself, or do you commit? You know, are you getting better now at it, or did you in the earlier days did you cover yourself and shoot it both ways in case? Or
I think I probably, depending on the style of the film, and if I think I need a tempo, I'll do it. I'll cover myself. But in the case of you two, I just felt let it play, let it go. It all depends on the circumstances. Ooh, there we come off. We're on our little.
ooh, now that's your little mini crane on your thing.
Look at your eyes in there. See, if you see Karen's eyes, she's squinting
Oh,
because
yeah,
of the
very-
light banging in them.
Yeah, absolutely. I invented, and maybe I didn't. Okay. Oh, I think I might have done it for this movie. Maybe it was.
What did you invent?
I invented a little set of contact lenses because I have blue eyes, and it's very hard for me in scenes just like that. With total pupils, black pupils are totally opaque. You can't see through, with little pinholes in them that would stop down smaller than your own pupil that I can put in my eyes for scenes like that.
You invented this?
Well, I thought of it, and I did it, and it works.
So that's how you do it. I just thought you were a good actor. I didn't realize you used these props,
There you
cheap
go.
props.
Oh,
to-
yeah, whatever it takes, man. It's illusion, right?
We're in Litchfield. No, wait a minute. Lynchburg, Virginia. When we did not Virginia, where the hell were we? We're still in Tennessee, I believe. I can't remember. We had this beautiful little square in this little town.
That felt weird to point a gun
Yeah.
right at our head. But you do that in the movies sometimes.
It's not so shocking nowadays, Jeff.
No, it's not. I remember just doing it when I saw it here. I said, oh, felt weird to do.
But on television, in the movies,
That poor guy who shot himself in the head like that, remember, killed himself, Hexum? God. Well, you know, when you're doing a movie, look at the light here shining in my face. In movies, you know, you think often that it's all make-believe, and you think, you know, if you're shooting a movie, you're on a street, you think it's all a set, that all the cars and everything are all, you know, work, and you forget that it's all, everything can hurt you just like in real life.
I think you sing pretty soon, like Blue Eyes. Which
Do a little Frank.
there we go.
I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York.
See, now this is my kind of style of singing, Jeff.
There you go.
I am sorry. I did awaken you.
So now the light's pretty on you guys. We've got a
Yeah.
little cross light
That's right.
that looks pretty nice.
Sing of that.
And that to me, Jeff, looks like a mount, and I can't tell you why, but it's bouncing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
it
I
looks
remember
like
it
a
was a
little-
mount.
It looks like a mount.
I think we might have even. No, we did. I was gonna say we shot it both at the same time, but you probably didn't because of the lighting.
That's correct. But this looks like it's
Yeah.
right mounted on the car. And I
and
couldn't swear to
maybe
it.
these. Now this one and her close up might have been the same.
It could have
on
been.
the same setup, right?
It could have been.
This body
I have to see the
is a
angle.
terrible emptiness. This is called hungry.
Yeah, and when people get hungry, they have to eat food.
Eat. Yes, we must do that.
There we go. See the big bounce in the camera? That's definitely a mount.
Do you like that or no?
Sometimes,
I mean,
depending,
yeah.
depending on the.
Which
I'm just going for a performance here. I care less about. Here's the scene you're talking about that people
yes,
remember.
yeah.
Always
Yeah.
mention.
Ooh.
See, things like that always scare me as a director. I don't like to do that stuff.
Man.
But he's having to go right in front of the truck.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a.
You almost got us killed. You said you watched me. You said you knew the rules.
I do know the rules.
Oh, well, for your information, pal, that was a yellow light back there.
And she makes this work.
I watched you very carefully. Red light stop, green light go, yellow light go, very fast.
And the interesting thing about this scene, Jeff, is that now the light has gotten crummy on you two. That's why I hated to shoot that particular scene that way. But we had to finish that day. And the scene is so good, it doesn't matter what it looks like.
That's right. It happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes even a matching thing, like
Yeah.
somebody will have a coat on, and when they have a coat off, and if the scene's working, sometimes the audience just doesn't watch. I remember in Tucker, I broke my hand the first week of Tucker, and I played the entire movie with a cast on my right hand.
You kidding? I didn't know
And
this.
I asked Francis, because I kept saying, trying to hide it, and he finally said, "Look, you don't play that. Just don't worry about it, and the audience will never worry about it if you don't worry
And
about it."
it worked, didn't it?
And nobody ever. I mean, I see it in one scene, but and the guy was like almost Italian in his hand gestures, But you just don't. Yeah, you don't see it. I had to do everything I could to not say it when I was promoting the film because it was such kind of an interesting story. But not to give the audience that. That's a good example of the trailer thing. I didn't want to load the audience with looking for that cast. Let's see if we can see the cast on his arm. That would have been very distracting for the audience to.
But
to
still,
know
it
that.
explains some of what happened to your performance.
Well,
doesn't
there you
it?
go.
Doesn't it?
Yes, the stiffness. Why? It's the only gesture with the left hand.
Yes. We just started. Yeah, but even if you're right, I still have problems.
And we're back in the hangar in Tennessee doing this scene. This is another one of your days off.
Mm-hmm.
They all bug me.
That's right.
This was designed so that an intelligent species could get a working knowledge of English.
It's the day I went to Rock City. Looked at the 7 states.
Did you visit the curio shop up there to buy any souvenirs? And I think you had, as I remember, when you were making this film, Against All Odds was out, and you were sort of a big deal. I remember people coming up and getting your autograph in the car.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. They didn't care about me at all. They wanted you.
Now, well, the question in this case is,
They wanted you.
who was the missionary and who were the cannibals?
Back inside the car again, from the back seat. This would be a shot that you're actually driving in, I believe.
I kind of like these shots almost better in cars for some reason. It seems like maybe it's because the camera feels more natural.
In the back seat, doesn't it feel natural to you?
Yeah, it feels more natural than
That we're shoved up inside the windshield, looking at you.
It feels like who's out there? What's that?
And you know that you can't drive along a highway hanging out there like this. But this is like a passenger.
Right.
The audience is like driving with you.
Appears mid-sky 3 more
pretty.
times. I must be at Arizona.
But of course, the problem is you're not seeing the entirety of your faces in these things. You have to play on the back of your head sometimes, and some actors don't care for that. I want their faces seen. See? I mean, you understand what I'm talking about. You wouldn't want me to play like this the entire movie.
No,
you'd want to come
I
around.
don't know, maybe you could probably talk me into it.
Well, you might not like it when it's done, though. See, now there you go. But we almost got 2 eyes, but it's a side. Worked in this scene, all right. Sort of de-emphasize some of the sentimental nature of this scene by coming in the back seat without throwing it in your face.
I love that.
So we can underplay it because basically we've got one very sentimental scene in this movie at the very end, which I dearly love.
That's always a challenge, and
it's a girl movie. Let's face it, it is a girl movie, but that's okay.
Usually we butcher up here in this scene, got the dead deer.
Yeah, but still, when you resurrect the deer.
This is one of my favorite scenes. This was wonderful to do this scene.
With the deer out there?
Oh, yeah.
Bodarks. This took a while to shoot, too. This wasn't the easiest sequence to shoot.
No. I worked with this guy a few times, too. I'm trying to remember his name.
Ted,
very good. Ted.
White?
Yeah, it's very good, John.
White.
Now, this deer, we had a couple of deers doing this. This one was an actual roadkill.
That's
probably.
right.
Deer kill more people in this country than any other animal.
They're very dangerous, Jeff. Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. It's their teeth. That's from hitting, people avoiding them.
It was the Park Service, I guess, folks had found it, brought it in that day. It's
Bambi.
He doesn't understand. He's not from around here.
You're enjoying your own performance. I love
it.
it.
It makes me laugh, man. I like this movie. This is really fun to see.
Clear that bozo.
So let me ask you the kind of typical fan question. How'd you feel about getting nominated for this picture?
Oh, God, it was just wonderful. Such a surprise. I had no idea that it would be received that way, and God, it was just wonderful.
South.
That was one of the first times I thought, they really are going for the performance in this and the uniqueness of the performance, because I can't think of any other way any other person who could have done this in quite this affecting a manner.
Thank you, man. How did we do box office-wise in this movie?
Okay. We didn't set anything afire, but we did. We made some money. We weren't like the biggest hit of all time.
And you were saying you can't remember any other movies that were out at that time?
I was trying to remember the
competition?
Christmas of '84 and what we were up against.
1984.
The credit card for the gas.
We got some nice reviews. You got some great reviews.
Yeah.
I got chased. I always get chastened on all my films. For
Chastened?
Chastened. Well,
For this, what do you?
I don't
would think
remember
this
what
was
they-
so remarkable. I mean, 'cause
Well,
this
they-
is very unlike any of your other movies.
I know, but they thought maybe I was selling out or something.
Oh,
I don't.
oh, right.
See,
You can't win, can you? You
They
cannot
thought-
win.
They praised me for my work with the helicopter sequence, but they didn't give me any credit for you two. So I was,
God.
Me and Scott on our honeymoon.
we just broke a stage line there, pretty big time. Now we're back around.
How important is that? Is that
Oh, for these scenes, it's extremely important.
so? It bugged you what you just saw.
Well, no, I just remember that in the middle of the scene, to make it interesting, I wanted to change the stage line, so I cut to an insert,
oh, and then
and
you
then
can't.
came
That's
around,
the
and
rule.
then you don't notice it.
You were talking about that you didn't get. Sometimes people don't really know what the job of a director is. A lot of times, for me, one of the things that you did for me in the whole movie is, and I think it's one of the most important functions for a director, as far as actors are concerned, is to set the environment for it all to all happen. And you certainly did that. You really encouraged us to explore our characters so fully, and it was really.
No, but it's easy with you two.
Oh,
You're
it
just
was-
so
it was
good.
so fun.
All I just did, just lay down the carpet. So you guys are just ready to go. I just have to provide a nice little carpet for
man.
you.
He was killed in an accident.
We spent a couple of nights on this scene.
Yeah.
We spent some time with this.
And rehearsal too. I
Mm-hmm.
remember a lot of directors don't know how to use rehearsal. They're afraid of leaving it, in the dressing room. But a lot of actors, some actors don't like rehearsal. But
Explain to the listeners
Yeah.
what that means, leaving it in the dressing room.
well, they think that not understanding the process of acting, they think you're going to be able. You'll just do it. You'll do it once, and it'll be very real, and then you won't be able to recreate that again. And that, in one sense, that's true. That's a real challenge for. I don't think only actors, but any kind of creative thing that you go in, you might do it once right, and then the trap is to try to recreate that rightness again. And what you have to do is break that, tablet that that's so right, and just start fresh. Get back to that empty space where that rightness can come out again. And but rehearsal is so valuable to me because you get to explore all the different ways that you can do something. And if I don't have that, what I tend to do is be safe on the take and do what I think is the center of the target. But I might not stretch it and give it more unusual thing.
But you see, you're an unusual actor because of what you're saying. A lot of actors don't like to do that.
Yeah.
They get stale.
Right.
They want to do it once or twice, and then that's it.
Yeah. Well, I think timing is important. If you do a lot of rehearsal just before the scene, that can stale you out. But if you do rehearsal early on in the process, then when you get the right clothes on and you're in the environment and everything, then you're fresh again. That's how I find it.
Then you start going at it, don't you? Then you
Yeah.
start becoming
Yeah.
the person in the scene.
Right,
That's
right.
that's what rehearsal's supposed to be for. Is
Yeah.
that period off the floor, someplace quiet where you can
Yeah.
talk it out. Pretty soon we're going to be coming up to that scene that you enjoyed doing. Everybody was amazed by the magic that we got with you and the deer. There's a little magic going on there. It's
And as I remember, I haven't seen it in many years, but I remember somehow the lighting and the way the hair was backlit on the deer is, so I wonder if my memory is
Well,
right.
let's see.
She's a wonderful actress. What was her name again?
I can't remember.
God.
There you go, walking through the shot.
I felt like
I'm always impressed by your, where you put the box to show it, and the simplicity of your storytelling without being forced. It doesn't feel like I don't feel you all over the thing. I love that, man. It's just simple. Love that. And people don't see. It's like one of those things like makeup. They see the makeup. It's no good. It's transparent.
Well, I didn't have to create suspense in this. All I had to do was tell this kind of story
Yeah.
of these two people, and that's a different. Here we go. That's a different ball game.
Now what they did with this is, of course, a live deer.
But remember the hand that you had to hold? Remember the phony hand there?
Oh, yes. But they gave it a drug, and then they gave it another drug. And this is all, by the way, what is it? The animal rights group was all in on this.
Humane Society.
Then they gave it another shot that made the other drug go away. So look at that. Yeah.
There you were with the deer, and none of us were nearby.
Yeah.
You and the deer had a little communication.
A little thing going.
And the music swells.
Yeah. And look at her.
I
look
know.
At that. Oh. It's amazing the power of music. How a few notes can elicit that. Look, there's the hair. See.
Yep.
You can elicit those kind of feelings in your heart like that.
There will be no way to order that up like a pizza. That particular scene. You have to be lucky also.
Yeah.
And what the deer, you didn't know what the deer was going to do.
Maybe even a shot of pork if you could. Son of a bitch.
No.
Now, coming up at the end of this scene, Jeff, I have to admit to you, I had to do a retake with Karen from the other side because I only covered it one way, and I needed her reaction. I'll show you where it comes. Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Nice stun for you, young man.
Hey.
I like that.
Butt out, girlie.
He doesn't understand. He's a foreigner. He doesn't speak English.
Oh, what?
Hey! Bingo.
That's very good. That's very good. I'd forgotten all about that. A little Panaglide into you. Was this you, or was this rubber you? I can't remember.
I don't know. It might have been rubber me.
We didn't want to. This was of you, of course.
This is me.
I believe that is too, right?
That's
I don't
me.
remember. Yeah,
Oh,
that's you.
God. No, I thought that was another guy. Yeah.
Hey, you loosen your hinges, boy.
It's always great to do those things with real stuntmen.
Uh-huh. Well, they know what's going on.
They know, they know how to make it look right and not hurt you.
So now these are the kind of shots, like this whole sequence here is shot with a Panaglide that you commit yourself to, and then sometimes you wish you hadn't, but...
How long had the Panaglide been around?
Since the mid-'70s.
So it had been around for 15
Let's
or so.
say, well, let's even say about 10 years at this time.
Mm-hmm. Who was the guy? Do you remember?
I don't recall the operator on this. I've used several crews, but we're just letting this all play out, this whole scene. We actually go to the car.
Yeah, big gamble.
Come
huh?
and it is.
And it might have been a thing like, well, we're losing light. The sun's going to come up. We got to get the shot. It might have been something like that, right?
But I think in this case, I just wanted it to play.
You wanted it to be that way. Uh-huh.
Just let it play long. Those are my favorite directors are the old timers that don't have the fast cuts going.
Oh yeah, it's great.
As I recall, she comes up, and there's a cut around here in a minute. I don't remember where it is, but I remember having to shoot it. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
We had to come back and shoot that because I didn't have a nice close-up of her thinking.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
See, now that was my fault. I came back and shot that on a soundstage.
Yeah.
Now we're cutting back to the day. Okay, so that was the director's rethinking the scene and thinking, I wanted a little shot of Karen in there, giving some thought to that moment.
Right.
So I had kind of not done my job on the, but that's the lucky thing about directing, because you can actually come back later and add those little touches.
How far away do you think we are from actors going in and getting through some kind of Jurassic Park type technology done, putting their image in a computer and then
we could be there.
We're all there already.
We could be there, depending on the project. For instance, I could take a movie that was made years ago. Let's say, for instance, Rio Bravo, which is an old Western. I could put you in the Ricky Nelson part. You could act the whole film. You could do the singing.
But I would have to do it.
You would have to do it.
I would have to do it.
Correct, but we would shoot it on a stage.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see. No, I'm talking about, I heard this rumor that Brando was offered a part. And he said, no, I don't want to do it, but I'll tell you what, you can lease my image, and you just pull some of the Jurassic Park stuff on me.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Hey, that Mustang them state boys wanted, that was orange and black, 77 with Wisconsin plates?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, kick her in the ass. I think we got the bastard.
So we're into our our little chase sequence here, which we didn't quite. We didn't use the big stunt that we shot, and it was a death-defying stunt that Terry Leonard did. He did it off a ramp. He went down a hill, and it just didn't. I didn't do it too well in terms of a director. But the sun's coming up here.
This is pretty.
Look at the blue sky.
Yeah.
We're dying here. We're trying to finish.
Yeah, do it faster, Charlie.
Yeah, so we've shot the emotional scene with you and Karen. Now we have to clean up everything. See, you guys are on your way back to the motel.
There
We're
you
still
go.
out here.
Oh God, that's right.
I should have made you stay to watch.
2 winters ago up at Iron Mountain ice skating.
Now, all the lights that are going on in this shot, those are all on the flatbed. They're being operated by people. See, that's how we get this look. That's what the flatbed.
Is this poor man? This is not poor man's. It
No.
could be. It could have been poor man's though. You could have done this. In
We could have with
but
a
you were
rear
out there
projection.
already. Yeah, you were out in the road, so you didn't have a sound stage probably.
So we were on the flatbed truck, and in the background, the stuff moving is being lit off the truck.
Yeah.
As you were being lit. So.
Yeah.
But again, you're talking about camera position here, Jeff. You know, the camera is right outside the window.
Right.
To get your two eyes, to get both of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And it is unnatural, I guess.
But now is this is through
Didn't we pop the windshield?
Yeah,
I believe we
and
popped
it's
the
always
windshield.
tricky because now how do you get, because the wind would be blowing, and how do you you gotta create a whole other thing behind that to stop the wind. And
we're coming up to the sequence I alluded to earlier here, where we had shot more footage of you with these college students, and at one time I had it included in the cut, and it's when you join in the line dance with the celebration, and I then cut it out mainly for timing reasons.
Yeah.
And I recall the one thing we did have a big discussion about was whether we should leave that in.
And was it after I saw a rough cut of it or something?
You had seen it in, and then I showed it to you again, and you had seen it out. We had a little discussion about it, and you said, well, it may be the point, the last time we get to see Starman having fun.
Oh yeah.
That was your point was, we don't get to see him having any fun.
As a human. As
Right.
a human, yeah.
And this was one step along the way where he could show a little joy.
Oh, right. Oh, that's good. Well,
And it
good,
was
very
very,
good.
you know what, it was very compelling argument, see? And I thought, he may be right.
Yeah.
Those are the tricky kind of
But
decisions.
as I play now, playing going on the other side, it's probably a good cut. Timing-wise, you can't have it too long, and you've seen enough of the, maybe seen enough of the Starman, trying to do human things. You got the cake, you got the deer,
But on the other hand, now that would, in between there would have been the cut.
Yeah.
And now we're into, I'm actually a big fan of this particular scene. And what I remember about it the most
Ooh, this is some fun. He's having fun here.
Was Karen, and we were in a real motel room, and she shot her close-up in this scene. And I thought I had it in the can, and she said, can I do it just one more time, please? And all of a sudden, this came out. And I don't know where she came up with it, but she just did it.
That's great.
And I learned her to respect the way actors work.
Yeah, and not have them explain what they're going to do before they do it.
That's correct.
That's important because you want to. Yeah.
She had an idea. She wanted to try something, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And whether she would tell me why or tell me what, it didn't matter.
Yeah. That's great.
I was very impressed with her in that. That footage is from an old Warner Brothers movie called Charge at Feather River.
Isn't that great?
I wonder if you're really looking at that TV set. I can't.
No.
You're looking off, aren't you?
Yeah.
Just to get your eyes in there, yeah. I probably shouldn't say that, but you are looking across.
Just a little
And we have a
bit.
little light on you. See a little butch light there to make you look cool.
There you go.
Wonder what he's thinking, Jeff. What do you think?
Something vulgar.
You think so?
Not nice and vulgar. Yeah, I
Well, you
that.
look friendly.
Yeah, he's friendly. Yeah. Not mean.
I really like the way it's lit here.
Yeah,
You guys
isn't
are
it pretty?
darkish.
Yeah. the thing I like about it is pretty without trying to be, and yet that's what makes his work so good. Is it's those good guys. It's just the right edge. It's look at that. See, that's.
Well, it's different.
Yeah,
it's different. It's real. We had a little light that came on when you looked up.
I saw that.
Just
busted. I saw that.
Couldn't help it. We wanted to get your
when
face.
when you rip it, isn't it? It's tough, isn't it? Because when you rip it like that.
Yeah, he was a real.
Yeah, he was a
real
really
kid.
guy. Yeah.
And we wanted to speed this whole area up.
Wet those streets, make it look pretty.
Uh-huh. And this is the chase. This is the stunt I was alluding to coming up in a minute here.
The bastards ran one on us.
Oh, there was a big stunt right there, right?
Well, it's coming up. In a minute. We shot all this footage.
Charlie 3. Suspects in orange Mustang are headed south of Big Springs bypass.
Actually, we shot this in Nashville. Every time I go back to see my parents, I go by the rim of the hill where we shot that. It's now a freeway exit. I still remember those beautiful nights in the rain up there in the springtime. Were miserable.
Did you ever shoot Poor Man's daytime Poor Man's Process with a real long lens? Can that work?
Yes. You have to be careful, though. Very careful with it. It can work. Now, was that you two in there? I don't recall. I don't think so. Ooh, she got shot. Oh, dear.
Oh, man.
We're coming into the stunt now.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Oh, you kept this stunt?
You'll see. I kept part of it, but I didn't do the spec. There was a ramp. The ramp is hidden in there. Well, I could be wrong about this. Maybe I did leave it in. We'll see. Haven't seen it in a while.
Wish I had some of those balls.
No, I do too. I wish you could give me a couple too. Yeah, so we didn't do this. We didn't do the ramp. We didn't ramp it off there. We just ran it into that.
I think that some of those ramps look phony, don't you think?
It did. That's the problem.
It looks like what
stunt.
it is.
Now you're walking actually on a soundstage at CBS,
right.
and the grips are walking along with you with lights. But now this is at the rim of the hill. Now we picked you up live. This was not the easiest place to shoot, only because of the weather. This is the springtime in the South, and that can be a turbulent, rainy, cold time.
This was towards the end of the movie we shot this, wasn't it?
Uh-huh. Again, we've got some sun coming up behind us there. Once again, poor Charlie has to do it in the last shot of the evening.
God love him.
Here I have two cameras on this, trying to finish.
But I have a couple of people that say
it's one of the few fades, isn't it? Right there?
It is a dissolve to morning, and this was something we added afterwards. We shot this in California to explain and to bridge into the next scene. It's hard to explain why I wanted to help his determination, and going right to this shot.
Well, you probably wanted to keep him in the movie.
I did.
But
I also, going to this seemed abrupt. All of a sudden, we were here, and what are we doing here?
Yeah, good.
So I had to slow it for a minute there. This is also, we shot this in the morning after a long day's shoot, and we had several cameras running. This was one time around that we drove that thing. And the awkward thing about this entire healing scene was that hand, that phony hand you had to... Didn't you put your hand behind you? And I don't remember how we worked it.
Each one of these glowing balls, there was a different rig,
Uh-huh.
Only two left.
We should have put a subtitle. Only two left.
Yeah.
We were actually stationary. I think we were behind the motel shooting this. We had this this rig out and back in the parking lot. A little second unit driving.
Look at that sky, huh? Beautiful. Man, you really know where to place it. You paint too? No, huh?
Who, me?
You, yeah.
God,
Just a student of film, right? Is that
Oh, yeah.
you know that's where you, like John Ford and those guys? Is that what you?
Howard Hawks is
Howard
my
Hawks,
guy. The old-time guys.
Howard Hawks, yeah.
This is a nice little scene. Now, there's the phony arm of yours, which...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember we had
and
a hell of a time.
oh, yeah. You're having to... that's just a glowing plastic deal with lights in it. And you had to have it rigged on you and put your arm behind you.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most fun thing to deal with as an actor. It's one of those unfortunate tricks because you had to act at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot of fun.
Just do the illusion, yeah.
Romance. Say, they don't let me do romance, Jeff.
Huh?
They don't let
Why
me do
not?
your...
Man, you're good at that.
Look at that nice little kiss shot there.
Do you have any of those in your kit bag? Any more romances?
I'd love to
No?
do one. I'd love to do one.
Really?
But, you know,
Oh.
I'm an old horror guy.
Because
now,
you're
see?
perfect. Because you're low on the sentimental deal, man. That's what romances need.
Yeah. Which kind of movie do you like to do best, Jeff? What's your fave kind of film? Character movie, most of all. Action?
When you say character movie, you mean like this?
Like this, like Tucker.
I mean, where you have a big, weird character to do of some sort.
You have somebody unusual, and it centers around.
I don't know. It's hard to. They're all, you know. It's hard to really set them apart.
Define.
As we look at this one was so wonderful to do, and a character that's this outside. I don't think I've ever done one as far out as this. What's great about it is that there's no precedent. I mean, you know, you don't have to be human or anything. You're just, you know, it's wide open, and that's.
But I was thinking about your work in like Cutter's Way and The Big Lebowski. You're playing some pretty outlandish characters in those.
Yeah.
A very different style. I wondered if you.
They're both fun. You know, I just got through playing the president in this movie. It's The Contender.
President of the United States?
The President of the United States. So it's the dude is the press. So making that those extremes are a lot of fun.
I bet that'd be fun.
This is one of my favorite scenes coming up. I love working with this guy here. I wish I could remember his name.
Buck Flower.
Buck Flower. Thank you. Thank you.
And we're in now. We've moved to Las Vegas, Nevada for this particular part of the shoot. And I remember one night vividly after shooting. You were down on the casino floor.
Oh yeah, how'd that
and
do?
gambling
away.
And I asked you, why are you doing this? And you looked at me and said, because I think I can win.
And I was wrong? Or
I don't know. I don't remember how you did.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm calling. You see, there's been a mistake. There hasn't been a kidnapping.
We're worried about you, Mrs. Hayden.
Now, isn't this is by the crater, isn't it? This scene, this right here.
That's correct. It's all in outside of Las Vegas on that.
Oh, God.
I think we're near Area 51, actually. Isn't that the highway that goes up through there? The UFO highway?
Now, could that crater have actually caused the extinction of the dinosaurs, do you think?
I think
or one like it?
There was one
or bigger
in
than
Mexico,
that,
bigger.
Bigger than that.
Much bigger.
Much bigger. Like about, yeah.
Like underneath the, I think it's underneath the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
You were kidnapped by.
He doesn't want to hurt anybody. Really, can't you just leave him alone?
Hello? Hello?
I sense in your character and in your attraction to this some 60s kind of feelings.
Well, the script is like that, too. It's important. Some of those lines, I remember there's a line coming up here, which I really like about what I like most about you, human beings. And
yes.
Talk about that. And it's interesting. I do a lot of work with the End Hunger Network and hunger and talking about that. And this is kind of very supportive of that kind of work, actually. Look at this guy, isn't he?
Buck is a great character actor. I've worked with him several times.
Yeah.
You don't get rich cooking either.
It's a pretty good imitation there.
You know, I got girls getting ready to go to college this fall. Wife had to go back nursing. Yeah, my little baby.
Your brand.
Costs an arm and a leg to raise up kids these days.
Arm and a leg?
Bread, eat it, money, and lots of it.
These are the scenes where I wonder what the studio thought, because it was early on. I wonder if they had faith in us, or they just let us go, or what, because that wasn't fun for you to do, was it?
Oh, God. No.
Because you really choked yourself.
Yeah, we're all lucky that I didn't puke. I mean, I was, very close.
You were. You actually did it. I was impressed with you.
It's a nice looking car.
Oh, man. I remember this. I remember when we shot this. The big traffic jams. This was some of my first time as a director dealing with things that was this size. Primarily, I made my early films were about people in isolated places, people trapped.
Had you made the car? Christine?
The year before.
The year before. Right. I love that movie.
But I was using some long lenses here. I don't know why exactly, but trying to tell the story. Now we're in a wider lens tracking along. And these are challenges. I just hadn't done anything like it.
So what were you trying? What were you trying to do?
Well, I had to cover everything in this roadblock, and I had to make it look big. So I couldn't show you how big it really was, and I wanted to. When we cut between one end, I would assume you're in the middle of it. She's at one end. Charlie Martin Smith is at the other. One way is to kind of disorient everyone, keep the lenses flat.
Yeah.
It also looks like there are more people.
You could also space the people out much longer, couldn't you?
You
with
could
a
have.
long lens and just stack them up that way.
That's what I was trying to do. Trying to give them a little bit more spectacle than we actually had, because we didn't have all that much. I recall this was a reshoot too. I don't remember. We may have done it on the set. Big commotion going on. And off you go. And I remember the sequence right here, Jeff. When you remember when the three of us had to run down the side of the hill here?
Yeah.
Karen was a little.
Yeah.
This particular action she was a little scared. She's hanging on to you for dear life.
Yeah.
You made it down. It's a little bit scarier than it looks in the film.
Yeah.
My God, how did you get here?
Beautifully lit under the overpass.
It's good to see you.
Pretty soon we're going to get into the back of the pickup truck. Here it comes. And then we're going to cut to Monument Valley. And when we arrived, it was a beautiful snowfall, and it was freezing, freezing cold when we did this back of the truck scene.
That's Hawk's turf too.
Yeah, and Ford.
Turf.
Ford is most known for.
Most, right. Red River's Hawks, isn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah, a lot of people miss it for Ford, don't they?
They think it's Ford. I don't recall if we cut directly to this or not. This is one of the scenes. Here we go. We had to work on mixing this scene because of the truck noise. I wanted to shoot it with you two in the back seat, live, with a microphone there.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the sound was, the truck noise was terrible. We had to mix and mix and and mix. You did not. This is you.
So what did you do?
Filtered out the background noises. But you had to spend time on it.
There you go.
You had to spend a lot of time on just getting and the tone of your voices.
Yeah, When I was working with Hal Ashby on his last movie, and I asked him once how, we're going to have to loop any of this, and he says, I've never looped a line in my life. I said, come on, Hal, how can you do it? He says, hey, I'm an editor. I just, you shave, you spend time, you borrow, you do this.
That's right. You
cheat.
cheat.
And it's,
So then, in my opinion, the light is so important in a scene like this, and knowing that you're both there,
And in looping, you know,
the motion's drained out of it. I'm sorry. I can't,
sometimes you can fix it, but sometimes it just deadens the whole thing, man. It's
and with you two, I mean, look at, I couldn't get this feeling with you looping because you're both freezing out. Everybody's freezing. You're, I mean, it's very cold, but it's also a very important scene for her.
Yeah, and do all those little laughs and giggles. You never get it. Good choice, man. And Lise, like, that's more important than getting everything pristine. I would imagine from your, you know, in your position, a lot of, because you work with such experts in all the different fields, that each expert wants to make his side shine, and so you have to say, no, that's not what's, this is more important.
Well, they want it to sound good for the entire audience. In other words, when the movie comes out, they want to be able to hear you clearly, hear all the lines. So a scene like this would be looped, usually, but you have to convince them that the audience can live with the background. So you hear the wind going by, you hear the wind hitting you, and it's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but the emotion is there. Anyway, that's my opinion.
I agree.
And this was the train. As I recall, there was a big concern about your safety in this, getting up on this train and having it move.
Oh, moving. Ooh.
Well, now we cue the train. In a second, it's going to start pulling out, and it was the idea I had to move you back out of the way. Now the train is moving because of your safety. If you'd been hanging out of the side, they wouldn't let me do it.
Running, getting on the plane, you're doing a jumping.
We had to follow those rules, but we didn't want to hurt you guys. Now we're on the soundstage. We've come back to Hollywood at the end of the shoot, and we do some pretty nice stuff in this boxcar. It was a nightmare to light, but you guys are, I love this interior of this set. I love it.
Better get warm. You know what pneumonia is? No? Well, you're going to find out unless we get you dry in a hurry.
One thing that bugs me about you is you don't age. How come? You look the same to me.
John.
You look the same to me now.
I saved one ball, John. I now crush it.
No.
How come? What is this? What is your secret? What is the secret of your eternal youth?
I am an alien, John.
Are we doing the love scene? Oh yes,
Yeah,
I remember. Oh, I remember this. This again. Karen was not quite. We had to make her comfy with all this. Ooh, model.
It's a model train.
Real live model train.
Wow.
Because as I remember, you guys were pretty much naked for this. We really kind of went for it. So, and cleared the set. I know that's always uncomfortable for some people. I noticed you didn't have any problem walking around naked in front of the crew. But
it's it's almost a cliche now. You hear actors talking about the uncomfortable thing about doing these love scenes and how. But it's really a challenge because you've got all these people around us. It's very funny. It's very tough to do. It's almost like working on a fight scene or a dance scene. Getting it all blocked out, and then you got to put the emotion in there too. It's tricky.
So that's why I know that I love being behind the camera because I couldn't do this. I could not do this with people. Well, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It was just not my personality. That's a nice little scene, see? It's a nice little close-up love-making scene.
Starman liked that.
Starman happy
He's
now.
a little joy. Yeah,
He's very happy now.
Yeah.
Well, he should be.
Yeah, you don't need that dance.
I think we're back in Tennessee in this racetrack. It says Gallup, New Mexico, but don't believe it. It's Nashville. Some very famous racetrack there. They used to have drag races when I was young.
You from Nashville?
I grew up about 65 miles away in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Oh man, that's
I used
right.
to travel this area as a youth. Oh, and the nightmare scene is coming. This was Charlie Martin Smith's nightmare. Richard Jekyll, God bless him, had a little trouble with his lines this evening. We had to really work on this scene. It was a painful thing, but it worked out just fine. You'll never notice.
Go on inside. Make yourself at home.
That's the thing about even directing. I have bad nights. Sometimes you don't feel up to it.
That's true, isn't
You
it?
don't feel up to the work, and you're out of it. And
You know, it's funny as an actor. What I've often noticed is that feeling isn't always have anything to do with it, because sometimes you can feel like terrible, and the work can be. The director says, "No, but moving on. We got." And you say, "No, please, no, we've got it." You move on. And other times you feel like you're really cooking, and you look at dailies and you see some guy up there who's cathartic, having a personal thing, and it's no good. So
how do I explain
learned
that to actors, Jeff?
Huh?
How do I explain that to actors? I've tried.
It's,
I've
you know,
tried
it's
about
something you got to just learn, but it's so true that feeling.
how
it
you
doesn't
feel
have to
about
do
the
that.
scene you
It
just did
doesn't
doesn't
have nothing,
matter.
anything to do with it.
So there's
what
that's
you're thinking of,
the biggest dilemma a director has.
Yeah, I bet.
It really is, because an
I'll
actor.
tell you, tell them that famous story about the Russian guy, the Russian director. I can't remember his name, where he did this test.
The Stanis. What's his name? I know. Podovkin.
The guy where he looks at the direction was, I want you the direction to the actor was, empty your mind and look to the left, now look to the center, and now look to the right. And the director cut that with a newborn baby, a naked woman, and a
bowl of
grave
soup.
or something.
A bowl of soup.
And
he looked hungry. He looked attractive.
And the comment from the audience was, "Oh, look at all these subtle changes that the actor was." So it's all about juxtaposition and what the the context that the actor is in, and the audience supplies so much. And so the actor, I think, the kind of acting that I like to see is where you don't see all those wheels turning in the actor's head. It's like in real life, we're opaque beings. We don't show all that stuff.
What do you think about when you do a performance, let's say a scene like this, and you come away from the shots feeling bad about it, about what you've done?
Mm-hmm.
Would you go to the director, regardless of who it is, and say, "Can I can I try that again?" How would you play it?
Yeah, what I always try to do with the director is I try to put their opinion above my own, my feelings, so I kind of empower them, so I can relax a little bit. And I feel I do my best work when I relax, but I always let them know what I'm feeling, just because I'm their sort of instrument that they're working with. I just want to report to them what's going on with me. But other than that, I just let them know, and then I let it go and get on with the next assignment.
Now, this is, again, the scene that I loved in the boxcar. The two of you were extraordinary. And you're starting to get into some of the meatier scenes of the picture. This one, and there's one in a car that we shot over and over and over again, looking for the moment, looking for a moment when the light was right, when the performance was right. And I remember we found it. I'll remark about the scene when it comes up. What's fun for me is I never get to do scenes like this, and this movie's full of them.
Yeah.
It's fun to do. But you guys make it really easy, see? This is easy to direct. Just point the camera, let you go.
It's fun. I was just talking to somebody about this. One of the challenges of acting for me is to open up your heart like this and not fall in love with a person and screw up your life. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of the assignment. In most movies are about love in one way or another. And I owe so much to my wife, Sue, allowing me to do that kind of work and keep my family together.
It's tough.
Oh.
It's really tough. See, I don't think people realize how tough it is, but that's your job as an actor.
Yeah.
To open your heart up, isn't it?
You better get dressed.
And it's amazing how what I've found working with Karen is such a wonderful person, and when you have two actors opening their hearts like that to each other and sharing that kind of intimacy, you find that love is pretty accessible and cheap in a funny sort of way. I mean, in a good sense that you can just about fall in love with just about anybody. Or one of the things that I've learned from acting is that when you do that, it's pretty easy, to get intimate. If two people want to get intimate together and they open themselves up to each other, you can't. You just can't have sex. You screw up everything.
That's it, huh? That ruins it all.
That's the line, man. You got to draw the line in the sand.
He's going about 300 miles past Winslow.
Now we're in the Las Vegas sequence.
Yeah. Well, we rolled out one place and ended up somewhere else.
That's right. That's right.
Looks like Oz.
This was before they turned it into Disneyland. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
God, that's
this
right.
is in the
Now
old
it's like
days.
a kid place. Almost, yeah.
It's a family-friendly place.
Yeah.
This is back in the mean old days.
Define giant jackpot.
Giant jackpot is a lot of money.
Money? Geetus, bread, an arm and a leg.
Where'd you get that? No, we don't have time to...
Now, I'm thinking about the casino sequence here is, from a technical point of view, it seems like it would be easy to shoot inside of casinos because of all the bright lights. Well, you're outside here, and this is easy, but inside it's a nightmare. It's much darker than you think. So that you have to stop down for the lights, and means you have to pump light into you as the actor.
Yeah.
It's very tricky.
I find that with my photography, with my wide lux, going
wide lux,
into
here it comes again.
into any place like this where you go in there. The eye is such a marvelous lens and does that so effortlessly, the stopping, and can balance that stuff. But with a camera, you go into a bright room, you say, wow, and you get a reading on your light meter, and it's very surprising.
Now, we had to pump lights into you guys.
Yeah, to
because
balance
just
it.
to get it balanced out, and that's it's never fun to have a lot of light on the actors. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not that much fun.
It's a handy little talent you got there, but you better spread it around a little. These guys get kind of curious if you hit too many jackpots at once.
Do you ever shoot any black and white?
In movies, motion pictures? I never have since the student film days. Black and white's fun.
Do a lot of light, though. You use a lot of light in that.
You do, and it's very hard to make that look pretty.
Yeah.
You have to really work at it.
Yeah.
Where
Some
color
of it can look beautiful.
because
though.
it's separation in black and white, whereas color, the color
You
separated.
get so many things to fool. Yeah, we get so many things to look cool.
Choppers from Air Cav will search the area on a quarter.
Well, here's the scene that I was referring to, where we had the troubles. This was a nightmare.
You mean to tell me you don't recognize an emergency autopsy room when you see one?
But you'd never know it from the cutting. It's only getting the performance. And
Latest update?
According to NORAD, his original course and rate of descent would have taken him here.
we're getting
south of Winslow.
I see. Anything else?
we're into the third act, I believe, or we're at least approaching the third act.
Attack units will carry live ammo at all times. This is to be considered a combat mission.
Right?
Ever thought about directing, Jeff?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, just like what we were talking about before we were recording here, I know how tough it is, and it takes so much out of you. It's such a big commitment of time. But something about it, I hope I do it before I kick the bucket.
What would you like to do? What kind of a thing would you like to do? Any idea?
I've got a couple of things. I've enjoyed producing. And that's kind of starting from the beginning and taking it all the way through.
Right.
And I've got a couple of things that I'm thinking about producing that I might direct. But I don't know. I mean, something, I guess, kind of small and, something that wouldn't be too big a production.
They're probably headed in this direction.
Well, let's establish.
Would you make it an ensemble type feel, or a couple of people? Do you have any feel?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Because the actors acting, that part of it is always the most challenging.
Yeah, I bet.
Everybody's a human being. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And they come to play a playtime part.
That's right.
And everybody needs different things.
And you have to direct. Yeah, you have to tailor your directing to. If you're a good director, that's what you do. But
now this scene
some
is the one I'm talking about. We had a little magic going with the light and your
yeah.
performance.
Yeah, I love this scene.
We had a little. There we go. Now, this sequence on you, the two of you.
He's starting to go now.
Uh huh.
Look at that light, isn't that
Uh huh.
beautiful?
This is a 2-camera deal. We had to cross cameras on you trying to get it.
Yeah, right. I love that when you can do that.
Not like this, but it is beautiful. There is only one language, one law, one people. And there is no war, no hunger. The strong do not victimize the helpless. We are very civilized, but we have lost something.
These are beautiful words.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful.
So much alive, also different.
And I was wondering to myself, again, the studio, they saw you play this early on. I wonder what they thought.
And the eating.
Yeah, it's a great scene. It's one of my favorites. We spent days trying to get this. to get everything, the light, and she's fabulous in this. She's making it work.
And the other things.
We're now in Arizona, near the meteor crater. That's down the road from it. One of those little scam places where they have rusty cars up on blocks that making you think from the road that the tourists have stopped there. You realize that nobody's there. Again, this was a hard scene to shoot.
You can tell what lens that is? Is it like a 21, 18 or something?
I have to go back to it again. Let me see that one.
Yeah.
Well, it bows a little bit. I think that's either a 35 or a 40.
Oh, yeah.
That's Panavision, so that would
that's right.
double it
Take to get to the crater from here?
to get the spherical.
I want you to try this cherry cocktail.
Do you like shooting anamorphic more? You do, yeah.
I can't. I think better in this format for some reason. The other is a small movie. Also, it allows, and like a shot like this, if you see this movie on television, you can't have both of you looking like this.
That's right.
One of they scan it and pan back and forth.
That's terrible.
Well, the two of you are interacting together.
Yeah.
I think coming up pretty soon is one of your favorite scenes. This is the beginning of it here. It's when you start saying the idealistic 60s feel, which is kind of gone now in the culture that we're in.
Yeah, very cynical times.
Uh-huh. It's too bad, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think maybe the flower guys we just went to see, we're coming back.
You think we're going to come back?
I
I think
so.
we're
You
over
think
the
we
hill.
don't? You think?
I don't know. Well, I don't
man.
know.
It's like, flowers. They don't call you flower kid for nothing. It's about seeds, man. Pollen, man. Oh, this guy. Ooh.
He was a real deal. He was in the real.
Yeah. I love when the real guys, they give you something, don't they?
They sure do. Yeah.
Remember that guy in Kubrick's movie Full Metal Jacket? Well, what an actor! What's that guy's name? You see him around, but he was the real thing, and it just adds so much.
You mean the drill sergeant?
Yeah.
He finally passed away.
Did he?
Yes,
Oh
he did.
yeah, God.
Yeah. This was one of the lucky accidents when we were driving along. Happened to be a train there.
Oh. The end of the line, the caboose. See, it's coming to the end.
We had to make Charlie start all over again. I'm yelling at him. There's a train out there. You actually get to kiss Charlie, don't you? That's on.
I think I pulled that out of the hat. I said, I think I might have come up to you and said, John, I want to try something. And you said, okay, go. And then I think I laid one on him.
That was interesting. Interesting moment in history.
His take is priceless. Yeah.
And this is the scene where you. I believe this is the scene where you tell us what's best about us.
I'd like to talk to these people alone. I'll be right outside if you need me.
He was such a tall actor. I had to get that. Look how high the camera is.
Yeah.
Radio said to say they're on their way over.
Now we just leave his space up there rather than coming down to Charlie, which I suppose it's not technically perfect, but rather than panning down to put the frame above his head and let him walk in.
Right.
Now we're creeping down a hair, but not much. Now the frame is down where it should be.
I'm Mark Sherman. SETI, the search for extraterrestrial.
And I love Charlie in this.
Mrs. Hayden, we talked on the phone. This is just such a...
You're starting to dissipate there, little pal.
He's losing his batteries, man.
Kind of run down here.
Yeah.
There are so many questions that I'd like to ask you. I hardly even know where to begin. Is there anything I can do for you?
You can let him go.
I can't.
This wasn't the easiest scene to get either, as I recall.
Yeah.
We had to do some work on this, and it took some time.
Here, is that it?
You don't understand. There isn't much time, please.
Why here?
This is one of those times as a director, you just try to stay out of your way.
Out of your own way.
Well, out of your way.
Out of
I
my
let
way.
you guys go.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, creating that
just
environment.
Just let it go and don't try to be too tricky.
Yeah, and also not give the actors a sense of rush because the light's going and to create that relaxed because
you have to be able to deliver the goods.
Oh yeah, it's a tough thing.
Intelligent but savage.
And this is the moment that that's nice writing.
Tell you what I
is very idealistic. I don't know if I believe this, but I really'd like to. I'd like to believe it in us.
It's your movie, John.
You know, that has a certain pessimistic side to me, Jeff.
That's all.
Certain
That's all
pessimism.
sham, man. That's your cover, man.
Oh, you think so, huh?
You sentimental guy.
Oh, dear. She kisses.
Thank you.
And he kisses. Nice, and then we rack focus to the guy. That's fun. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Pretty soon we'll be getting into, after a couple of scenes here, into that crater that we talked about earlier. You guys ran up and down that thing
Oh, man.
several times. And as I recall, you had some explosive charges down the way. That was a tricky little sequence to do.
It is. Yeah.
Do you like working with on-set special effects, guns, explosions?
I don't,
What do you think?
I mean, there's something that's kind of fun and dangerous about it. But the older I get, I don't like it because they're not. It's not like something. They're usually like one-time magic tricks. They're not. You can't. The special guys don't practice it that much, and you just people. It's not unusual that people get hurt on those things. You just get hurt a lot.
I think the audience thinks that it's easy.
Yeah. Sometimes
I don't think they know how many people do get hurt on
But as a
sets.
filmmaker, I want to make it. I want to put myself in close proximity to that danger to make the illusion look great. So it's challenging that way, But it can get you can really get dangerous. Remember doing Heaven's Gate? We did this battle scene for weeks, and every time you do it, you think, "Oh God, let me get through this."
Really?
And you have all these people, not real stuntmen, but just local people that have these loaded, full load guns, shooting, and they're not trained, and you're just thinking it's amazing. More people didn't get hurt on something like that. You try to be as safe as you can, but then you get swept up into the excitement of the movie and the thing, and you want to make it right, and that can be just that kind of thinking can make it dangerous. When you must have had times like that with as a director. You say, "Yeah, this would be the better shot," but I'm not going to do it.
I get scared at every stunt. I'm a chicken when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
I had personally had a great time working in and around and in directing the helicopters. I'm a pilot myself and have been for many years.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
you flew some in here, didn't
I
you?
did. I flew a lot of the.
I love this shot here, this long shot of it.
And this was a particular location. I got to fly a Huey for the first time. Those are the big Vietnam helicopters. Oh, they're so great to fly.
Do you find generally that the modern movies overuse close-ups?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
It bothers me because the effect of a long shot or even a medium shot can be more effective for some reason. Not be in that face.
But it's a combination of things. Think about it from when the actor, as an actor, you know you're doing your stuff and you want that camera to be in close on you, so they can watch you doing your stuff.
Somebody said anybody can act in a close-up, but it takes somebody to in that long shot to be able to get that emotion and to not have to have that thing right in your face. And sometimes it can be effective if it's back, and then let the audience supply that.
But you see, that's unusual for an actor to say that, Jeff. That's unusual. Actors like to be in close-up.
Yeah, well, it's easier that way.
Do you think it's easier? Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was more of a ego-enhancing.
Well, then you don't have to. It's harder to. I find it's an awkward position of the camera when it's about as far away as that TV is from you. That's an awkward distance for the camera for me to act in because your peripheral vision picks up all of the business
that's going on around you.
But if the camera is right here, for some reason you don't pick it up. But
so when it's closer to you, but it's further away.
Yeah, or if it's real far away, then that's great too. It's kind of a weird thing.
We missed my close-up.
Oh shit, man!
No, that's all
right. Back
it
up.
This was great, great stuff to shoot. I just love doing this. And you guys had to, as we talked about, going up and down the little mule trail that basically went down to the bottom of this thing. It's a big place.
And I love it. This is, yeah, all the unspoken stuff. Like, this is probably where this, I'm just thinking now, this is maybe where this is the landing strip for this aircraft that might have visited the Earth here many, many times. And this is its spot where it comes down, you know. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, now, let me ask you the question. Do you believe in UFOs?
Do I believe in UFOs?
You put me on the spot earlier.
Yeah, right. I would not be surprised at anything. I'm sure that what is actually happening is far weirder than anything we could come up with. You know what I'm saying?
That I believe, too.
You know what I mean?
That
What's
I agree
really
with you.
going on is weirder than anything.
Now we're getting near the our ending here, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we're going to be shooting some phony stuff at you. I don't remember if that was you or the stunt folk
This
going
here?
down there. Yeah, I don't remember this part. I don't know if we asked you to do it or not.
Remember, I did some of this explosion
As I
stuff.
recall, this was you guys.
You might have had two cameras running now.
I believe we had several.
I mean, you might have had a close-up lens and a long one or something.
There you go again. I can't remember. I don't know if I would have let you go in those explosions like that. That I may have put a stuntman in for, but. We came back with so much footage of this to cut down in this short a time. That's really you there.
Do you have your own helicopter?
I used to own two of them, but I stopped doing flying as much as I used to years ago, so I sold them.
Close calls?
No. You have to fly every day to be safe.
Right.
And I just wasn't getting to it. I was making movies,
good
and
call.
I'm not dumb. I want to be a safe flyer pilot. I don't want to be a dead one.
Oh, look at this. Here, I love this shot, man. Oh, man. What a lovely effect.
There I am. Hey, there I am.
There
My
he is.
close-up. My close-up, Mr. DeMille.
Ooh, look at that.
I thought I did a great job, too. I'm impressed with my performance.
Exactly.
Don't
Very
look at
real.
them. Don't look at
Very
them. Look at
real.
me.
Look at that. And that's not a circle around it. That's the reflection of the clouds, right? It's not not a Saturn thing. Wonderful.
We are now on a soundstage, which was very, very difficult to do because
that must be. Those aren't the clouds.
I forget what that is. I don't remember what that is. I think it's a little.
Oh yeah, that's.
When we cut back to your close-up, we had to go from. There we are on a soundstage at TBS.
This is a soundstage?
Yes,
I don't think so. I don't think it's a soundstage yet.
Yes, it is.
You think you sure
I know,
about that?
positive. Watch, we have wind down
I
here.
don't remember the dirt like that behind
You'll
that
see.
hill there.
Trust me, it's you guys are on a soundstage because we do the light change on you. We couldn't do that.
Yeah,
We couldn't do that.
Something I don't remember about that hill on the soundstage. You're probably right. It also looked very much.
Yeah, it looked a little phonier than the other stuff.
Did it to you?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did because we have you lit. See, we're lighting you for daylight down there, and you've got some little backlight and side light on you. And in reality, of course, you'd be flat lit.
Yeah.
Again, that was a lot of fun to shoot.
Ooh, I love this shot. Look at this.
The rotor's above his head.
Look at that. Oh man, and this thing. God.
Starts to snow. He looks down.
Oh.
Now we're going to cut to. I'm telling you your soundstage stuff, and we have a little quickie where it establishes you down there, and then now we're going. See, now we change to the red.
Oh, you're
That's
right,
all a
you're
light
right,
change.
You're right.
And the toughest part about this was that snow was styrofoam.
Oh, and breathing that snow in. I remember inhaling
in your
that
eyes and breathing it.
Yeah.
And we had a little laser light deal here. We had to
No,
put
wasn't
smoke
this the
in.
poster of the movie too? or
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yes, it was. We had you lit with a laser from overhead. That's why the smoke is going through there to pick up the beams.
Ooh, look at that. Yeah.
This is our big sentimental scene.
Tell me again how to say goodbye.
I really think you and Karen ought to do Starman too. That'd be a whole lot of fun to see.
Tell me you love me.
Be a lot of fun to see.
I love you.
Ooh, girl movie. That is sweet. I'm happy to have done one like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very proud of this film.
Me too. I love watching. I haven't seen it in 10 years. It feels like.
It's hard for me to watch my own work, to be frank with you. I don't do it much, but seeing it again,
Tell the baby about me.
everybody did such good work. Everyone.
Yeah, it's kind of a rare thing when it comes together that well. You know, there's so many places to drop the ball.
It's so easy to screw up some part of it.
Oh gosh, I love that. Very different than any other part of any other movie. You know, just like so.
The baby will know.
We're just blowing that smoke up there.
Yeah. Ooh, and I like this shot too of him going.
You walk away
Yeah,
and
I like
the
that.
way, yeah. Redwood's hard to achieve. There you are. See, there you are, a little white in the foreground, and again, that's a soundstage. At TBS, it worked out pretty well. One last look back, and then the last shot in the film, the way it ends.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love
was
that.
on Karen, which is a crane
beautiful.
up on her face, looking at you rising up. I guess we assume that I wanted to. It's an old-fashioned.
Goes white, doesn't it?
30s and 40s movie trick.
Look at that. Oh, yeah. And the way you hold on it for that long, let it just.
And he looks back one more time back there. And we do a little light change. Off goes the laser. Up we come. Blowing wind. And she is, believe me when I tell you, she's struggling not to cough.
Yeah.
And
What emotion she's feeling, John. No, you're right. That's what's going. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's really happening. Yeah? But look at that. Look at that. Isn't that great?
And we fade out, and that's it. That's been fun to see with you, Jeff. It's fun to sit here and
good movie.
Remember what it was like.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I want to thank all of you for watching this and listening to us talk like this.
Absolutely.
It was really, really fun to talk about some things that I haven't had a chance to talk about in movies before, with actors, which is like the process of acting. You never get to hear too much about them. And then the relationship between an actor and a director, you know.
Well, you're a professor now. Maybe I'll come in
professor
and we can do this in your class.
I'd love to do
That'd
this.
be fun.
I'd love to teach a class. Well, from Jeff and myself, thanks for watching, and we appreciate you buying this, and we'll see you down the road.
See you later.